my vlog. Sorry it's taken me so long to continue my review of Season 15 of Deadliest Catch. I had some other videos I needed to get up before these, so I'm doing them now. And this is my review of Season 15, Episode 20 of Deadliest Catch. So, the episode starts out with the Cornelia Marie, and they're up north, and they're on some really hot fishing. And they pretty much have all of their tanks full except for one, their sixth tank, and that sixth tank has not been filled since Captain Phil Harris was the captain of the Cornelia Marie, and they're gonna fill it up in the next episode. So that'll be a really cool way to honor him, is filling up that sixth tank. Then it goes to the Saga, and the Saga is in Dutch Harbor, and they are waiting for a new engineer, because their old engineer had something to deal with back home. So Jake Anderson called Neil Hillstrand, who's a Hillstrand brother and used to be on the show, on the Time Bandit. But the Time Bandit is not fishing. The Hillstrand brothers are not fishing anymore. So Jake Anderson calls on Neil to come in and replace his engineer for the rest of the season. And so they show him on board, and Jake is giving him the tour of the engine room where he'll be. And Neil notices there's water in the fuel. So him and Jake start going through the fuel system and taking all the water out of the system so they can get the boat back and running. Then it goes to the Wizard, and Monty had just offloaded 380,000 pounds of Opelio crab. On this final trip, they have to load 400,000 pounds of Opelio crab on the Wizard, which has never done before. He doesn't know if the Wizard can hold 400,000 pounds of crab in a single trip, so he's gonna have to figure. As they're leaving port, they have a tailwind, so the wind is pushing them as well as the engines. So there's a 350 some foot trawler coming into Dutch Harbor as they're leaving, and so Monty has to pull the throttle back to slow the Wizard down so it won't hit the trawler, which is 1,500 tons of steel crossing paths. So it's a really close call, and Monty jams the throttle in full reverse to stop it and keep it backing up so they won't collide. So that was crazy, and they leave harbor. And then it goes back to the Saga, and the Saga is fixing up the boat so they can go back out and catch the last tank and a half of crab, which is 70,000 pounds, for the Saga's season to be over with. So they head out. Then it goes to the Brenna A, and the Brenna A is in the northern grounds, and they're not on very hot numbers. They're going through their pots, and they're in some pretty big weather with the wind blowing at 60 knots, which is 70 miles an hour, which is really close to a Category 1 hurricane. So they're battling big weather with waves, and while they're hauling in crab, Sean sees a 30-foot wave, and he thinks it's gonna crest, so he warns the crew, and a big wave washes over and just smashes the crew. Then it goes back to the Wizard, and the Wizard is just getting back out on the grounds and getting to their gear. And as they're going, they're going through it. They start out getting 173 Opelio crab per pop, which is pretty good, but not that great. And as they keep going through their string, it keeps getting worse from there. They start getting like 130, 120, 110 opilio crab per pot, which is not good. They start loading the pots to move, and they're in the northern grounds, which the picking is slim for them to find crab, because a lot of the crab has been found and it's being very elusive. So they're going to have to find another spot. They're going to have to find another spot to catch the remaining 400,000 pounds of quota they have. Then it goes back to the Cornelia Marie, and the Cornelia Marie is still on really hot fishing. So while they're out there, they finish up one string, and Josh and Casey, they're like, we can drive the boat really slow so you guys can get some sleep before we get to the next 166 pots to end our season. And the crew's like, nah, we'll haul pots until we drop. Get the last 166 remaining pots to fill our quota and fill up the 6th tank. So they are going through their gear and it's going good, and then they get to the final string, and the string is just, they're getting not very many opilio crab compared to the like 300 opilio crab they were getting in the last strings. And so their crane is also broken, and the crew they start getting tired, so they ask Josh to use the crane, which is broken, and because they're tired of pushing the 800-pound pots on deck. So they start using the crane, and the crane breaks again, so Casey has to go out and fix the crane so they can use it again. And on their last string, the crab just falls off. They're not getting very many more, so they're moving some more pots back to where the crab was good, so they can fill their boat the rest of the way. The crew getting ready to set a pot in the picking hook to move the pots. It pops off, and the crew has to scramble to get out of the way because it'll hurt them badly or could potentially kill them. So they got out of the way, and then Casey was like, guys, I got a proposition for you. Do you guys want to call Uncle, or we can keep hauling? And the whole crew calls Uncle, and he's like, well, I'll let you guys sleep for 8 hours. They're getting 8 hours of sleep after being up for 48 hours straight of just back-breaking work. Then goes back to the saga, and they're on their last strings, and Jake's like, let's start stacking the pots because we'll have the quota we need by the time we get to the end of our pots. And he's in the southern grounds while most of the fleet is in the northern grounds, and they're struggling to find crab, and he's on a lot of crab. So he's going through his string, and then they come to the last pot, and he's like, that's it, our season's done, last pot. So they pick up the last pot, and they get everything locked down and head for Dutch Harbor to offload their final 70,000 pounds of crab. And each deckhand walks away with $30,000 for 2 months of work. And Jake is going to be able to go home and buy a percentage of the saga. So that is really awesome. And then it shows the wizard setting pots, and then it goes to the Brennet A and just shows them working, and then it goes to the CM, and it just kind of shows those last boats struggling to catch their quota, and then it starts showing scenes from the season finale of season 15 of Deadliest Catch. So I hope you guys enjoyed my review of episode 20 of season 15 of Deadliest Catch. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and thank you for watching, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit the bell icon down below so you can be notified when I upload a video. And if you ain't dreaming, you ain't living. Don't forget to dream big.